Craig from Fuller Brothers doing the filming today. Andy's out combining. Thank you, Andy, for letting us do this. Thank you for letting me participate. Great stuff.
Well, we have somewhat of a different video for you guys here today. This is Kyle from McLaughlin's Tire Service. You've all met him before. He actually came today to look at a payloader that we're going to put tires on in a little while, and he brought Craig from Tire Life. Fuller Products?
Fuller Brothers.
Fuller Brothers.
Out of Oregon.
Out of Oregon. And he's got a bunch of products that Kyle's been using for a little while. I think you put some of this material or some of these products, or one of the products, in the combine tire too?
Yep.
Combine tire, and you're going to be using them in the loader tires that you're putting on. Yep. So Craig here is going to describe some of these products that Fuller Brothers has to offer, and we're going to start using this stuff along with Kyle because he's our tire guy. So if you want to go ahead and explain your products, Craig.
Sure. Thanks, Andy. Hey, glad to be in New York.
There you go.
From Michigan. Thank you, Kyle. We want to talk about some of the Fuller Brothers products. Fuller Brothers has been around since 1962, making this product right here, Tire Life. It's a liquid additive that goes inside the tire that protects the rubber of the inside of the tire, as well as preventing rust. Rust will not happen when this product is in there. So it acts as a leak detector, so if you've got a cracked wheel, it won't seal the wheel like this will, with fibers and rubber particles and latex and such. This will leach out of it, and it will allow you to find the cracked wheel. It also helps the tire run cooler using thermodynamics. So the heat can only go one direction. It'll go towards the cold, and this will grab the heat from the inner liner of the tire, draw it up into the tire to the air chamber, and then as the tire is running down the road, the heat's escaping through the sidewalls of the tire. We've got testing in wheel loaders that anywhere from 7 or 9 degrees all the way up to 20 degrees cooler running. And with heat being the tire's worst enemy, we want to try to control that so you get every hour or every mile out of the tire that you deserve. And then the no rust thing, for guys like Kyle and myself, I changed a lot of tires myself, that with the rust not happening inside there, the tires come apart much easier. It helps with the lubricity of the rubber, and it keeps the backside of the O-ring in a multi-piece wheel assembly pliable so that it doesn't dry out and crack and potentially cause a leak. We also have it where we package it in a 20-ounce burst bag. So this has got the Tire Life product in the bag. This simply can be thrown in the truck tire as you're mounting the tire, and it will burst in a couple revolutions, and it does all the things that Tire Life does for the semi space, the commercial space, including helping the ride. So it'll actually balance the tires.
So on a truck tire, how much would you use? Just one of them bags?
Just one of these bags.
Okay.
For a standard truck tire, like when you talk about the 385s, like on the front of that truck right there, you'd want to put 2 bags in, or 40 ounces.
Okay.
Between 30 and 40 ounces.
So like an 11R, 22, 5, or 24, one bag.
One bag.
Steer tire.
Yep.
2.
And I brought 12 of these for you, Andy.
Okay.
As Kyle told me, you guys do a lot of your own tire switches here.
Yes, we do.
So I'm going to bring those, leave those for you, and I'd like to get your feedback on that later.
Okay.
Spectacular. Some of the other products that Fuller Brothers manufactures is the tire cream right here, and I've got that. This is a cream.
Is this for mounting and dismounting?
This is for mounting primarily.
Mounting.
Yeah, you would use this to mount the tires with. It's a cosmetic grade components in there. There's only 8 ingredients. You don't need a lot of it, just a little sheen on there, and it protects the tire, the rubber, as it's being mounted up. Complete dissipation, because we don't want the tires to slip or index on the wheels. So this is kind of heat activated about 120 degrees, and it completely liquefies and it's gone. The other product that we manufacture is Lubes It. This is a Tire Life derivative. It's been around for about 35 years. Super low freeze protection. This as well. We've got samples in a deep freezer in Oregon where our plant is at. Minus 40, still pliable.
No kidding.
And you can apply this to a wet bead.
Yeah, that's a nice part.
That's a great feature. Other lubes don't. They just slip right off. Lubes It, same thing. Rust inhibitors in there. Super slippery, complete dissipation. There's nothing in there that's dangerous or anything of that nature. Same thing with Tire Life. It's biodegradable and environmentally friendly, especially on a farm environment. You don't want to have that happening. That's the main sure. And then our newest product, this is White Lightning. Have you got that spray bottle, Andy? So we needed a product for dismounting tires, specifically the multi-piece wheels. The 3-piece wheels have been a real struggle for guys. So in conjunction with my good friend Matt White, who is he's the trainer for the Tire Industry Association, TIA, we worked closely with Matt and we developed this product. So this is a concentrate. This is a 4-to-1 concentrate, and you can spray it, and it's very thin so that it'll penetrate between the bead of the rubber and the steel wheel. So it helps keep that nice and lubed up. Put a little bit of that on your finger. So yeah, super slippery, and it'll actually, if you let it dry for a little bit, you can feel like a little film.
Oh, okay.
And that's going to protect the rubber, which we don't want to have chipped beads or torn beads.
Yeah. So nice. I could see this stuff would be beneficial alone. Just yesterday with our spreader tire, it was leaking air.
And I know that they had said it was soft or flat here, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and we put air in it.
You know.
Yeah, and then you gotta clean the rim off, go around it with water and soap. That's almost like that leak detectant stuff that they put into an air conditioning system.
Pretty much.
Because you can't see air.
No.
But if it leaves a little green film, that would have saved a ton of time finding that
times where
cracked
so this
wheel.
has been very pushed on a couple of Tire Guy Facebook pages. So, and that's only going to hit so many people. But the guy we referred to down in Texas showed a video, I don't know, it was probably 6 months or so ago, of a guy with a truck tire. He couldn't hear it, but he could see the Tire Life just spitting right out of the tire, and he stopped. And it still had tons of air, so they were to fix it and keep going. Now, had he been driving down the road and got it to where it got so low that he damaged it, he would have just cost the tire.
Well, the story you were telling about earlier with that large tire on a payloader at a quarry.
Yeah, that was a Caterpillar 994 53.5 85 57 Firestone 76 ply L5 with tire protection chains on it. It would drop down to about 60 psi, and it would stop. Then they'd air it back up to about 110. 2 days later, same thing. So the quarry manager said, "Stop. We got to figure out what's going on." Well, how do you find a hole in a tire that's 12 foot tall, 4 foot wide, and weighs over 12,000 pounds? So we're standing there looking at it, and you got the hub and then the wheel inside there, about 3.5 feet wide. It was all dry except about a 3-inch strip, about 4 foot long, and it was wet limestone with a little green tint to it. We took it apart, and where they had stacked up the hoops to make the wheelbase, one of those welds had been compromised, and it was leaking out of there as a pinhole leak. So anytime you have a cracked wheel, that's a pressure vessel. When you have a tire and a wheel together, and that particular tire had 110 psi, there's well over 2 million foot-pounds of stored kinetic energy in there. And if that ruptures unexpectedly, it's going to do some serious damage. So by helping us find those leaks, we were able to save the tire because the tire didn't get damaged. We were able to take the wheel off, replace it, send the wheel in, and have it recertified and rebuilt at a wheel manufacturer. So
well, you take that problem, kind of like mining is like farming. You keep pushing it off, keep pushing it off, keep running that tire down to 60 psi. You're going to compromise the tire.
Yep.
What's that tire? 30, 40, $50,000?
100,000.
Okay, so you end up ruining a $100,000 tire.
Yeah.
That stuff is a lot
sounds-
cheaper than
Heck yeah.
It can almost act like like a loaded tire. You're out in the field and running something over, and all of a sudden, every time it comes around, it's spinning
Yeah,
up in the air.
yeah.
You're not going to most likely hear that with the AC and the radio.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, you start seeing a liquid come squirting
Yeah.
out. You know to stop.
Yeah,
And
exactly. How much of the tire life would you have to put in, like a tractor tire, a 20.838 or a 20.842?
So, what
So
have you
that
been
would,
doing?
and a 20.838, I'd say probably 4 gallons.
4 gallons?
4 gallons.
Yeah.
Now, I originally wanted to put it in the 560 when we did them, especially for the good years that we put on, just because they have the known problem of casing leaking. It just, I wanted to get the product more explained in a better way with Craig. And then, from this moment on, if somebody would like to do it, we can sure do it. But those right there, a tire that size would probably take 6 to make sure
Okay.
it's completely going around with a little extra.
Because those
Your
are
older tires-
800
Yeah.
R38.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your loader tires, 3 gallons.
3
That's
gallons
what we
on a
bought.
loader tire.
So, half of these are going in each shoulders.
Okay.
We're going to donate that to the cause.
There you go.
So it's actually, it doesn't take a lot. That's the best part. It's not like you're filling it halfway up and weighing the track, the machine down. It's just a little bit.
Yeah. And then, can you put your your tire repair stuff in with that too, or can those two products be put in together?
It will dilute both of them, and the effectiveness won't be as good.
Okay.
And their sealer is actually, correct me if I'm wrong, but actually has tire life rating.
Yes. They're tire life based.
Yes.
Okay.
Where other sealers aren't they more like oil based? They're not so much oil based, but you'll get the Christ, they'll brown up, they'll pip the rim.
Yeah. Yeah. So we wanted to make sure that, putting sealer has its place in the industry, right? I don't like it in multi-piece wheels because it gets underneath the bead seat, between the bead seat and the wheelbase. Plus, if it's masking that crack, and it could cause a dangerous situation, we don't want to do that. So in a single piece wheel, like the skid steer right here, that's a great place to put the sealer in there.
Gotcha.
And we don't want it to rust the wheels. And it's really a temporary repair until Kyle can get out here and clean it up and actually plug patch it.
Yeah.
One thing I forgot about with Tire Life, because it protects steel. So if you think about a steel radial truck tire, and it gets a nail hole in there. I worked in a retread plant and managed retread plants for a long time, and a lot of casings got thrown away or discarded or scrapped because of the puncture comes out, moisture gets into the steel
Starts
belt.
rusting the
and it rusts.
belts.
Instead of just a hole, now you got a spot this big,
Yeah.
the tire can't be retreaded. This will coat those steel cables and they won't rust.
Kind of like a hydraulic hose. Hydraulic hose, you got just the casing on the outside gets ripped. Yeah, like that's fine. But then it gets into the wires,
Yeah.
and it just starts rusting the wires,
And then you got a problem.
and then you got a problem.
Yeah,
And tires, same thing, really.
yeah, exactly.
I would say another nice thing about their product is, so this is referred to as the all-weather formula. So there's a certain amount of glycol in there,
Yep,
but they control it for the area that you're in. So if you're in Texas, they have
it's a regular
it's a
formula.
regular formula.
No glycol.
Then up in
it.
here, there's just enough to keep it from
Freezing.
I mean, if it's 30 degrees or 30 below for a month straight, it might start to slush up in the tire, but the second you start using it, it'll liquefy back up.
Gotcha.
And then the further up north you go, they have what's it called? Extreme. Arctic.
Yep.
But that way, here, you're not paying just for glycol. You're not getting a more glycol formulation. That way you're getting more of their actual product.
Gotcha.
And the ambient, the sun hits a black tire, it's going to heat it up really fast.
Yeah.
It's freeze thaw stable, So if it does slush out or even freeze solid once it thaws out, the integrity of the product remains. There's no issues with that at all.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for coming here today, and
Thanks,
we're going to put your products to work. Kyle's going to be putting some tires on that loader, so the rest of this video will be Kyle. He's actually going to run the camera himself today. And he's going to be using some of these products, and we'll put them to the test.
Yeah, I'm going to hang out with you, Kyle. I'll run the camera.
Make sure he doesn't screw it up, right? Yeah.
So I'm going to leave these with you, Andy. All
right.
This is also a new product. This is Lubes It Light. So that's Lubes It that we've had for a long time. This is like jam. This is more like jelly. So we wanted to make a product that would spread pretty easily. Plus, where you put it, it stays, so it doesn't run off the beads.
Okay.
So this, and it won't score or stain aluminum wheels.
Okay.
Which a lot of my competitors' products unfortunately do that. So we worked real hard to come up with this product. So I'm gonna leave that with you.
So that's for mounting tires.
Truck tires. Yep. Yep.
Put it around the bead so that it'll easily slide onto
Correct.
the rim.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Good. Well, thank
All
you
right.
very much.
Good. Thank you, Craig.
Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, Kyle.
Bro.
Yeah. All right. So we'll see these guys a little later on in the rest of this video when he's mounting these payloader tires.
All right. Here we got Kyle. He's getting everything set up. Change 4 tires on this loader. Part of the process is to get everything set up for your job. So you look around, make sure there's nothing in your way. The ground is solid, obviously, because we're on concrete. Kyle's going to jack up and crib up. Cribbing is very important to support the load. The jack is just to lift, and the cribbing or the jack stand is to support the load. This is really critical in this process to set this slew bar. This is an articulated piece of equipment. We want to make sure that we make it a rigid piece of equipment by setting that slew bar. Got to do some adjustments a minute, yeah. This way. A little bit more. There. Now that slew bar makes this a rigid piece. Good job, Kyle. There's our jack stand. That's what supports the load. This is a muffler system that we use to deflate the tires. So now we don't get that big blast of air. air coming out of that. There's no dust, no sound. Nice and slow and easy. Kyle's chocking his wheels so his truck doesn't have any opportunity to roll and stuff. He's going to throw some wheel chocks down on the loader as well. Front and back, good job. Perfect. He sets his crane center of the axle on the first tire here, left front. Centers that with his crane. It's got about 8 or 9 feet, give or take. Way he gives himself plenty of room to work and maneuver around. Those are metal jack stands, or jack plates rather. Helps get the jack up where he needs it. Get a jack on the frame. Got a hydraulic pod. Lifting point there, good stuff. These are super dense plastic plates that'll handle the compression. He's going to use them as shims to get his jack up as close to the jack point as he can. He's going to use his cribbing to build his support. This is composite cribbing or plastic cribbing. Supports a ton of weight, but you can't use this as the point that the weight rests on. That's what those plates are for right there. still got control of the axle with the jack. He's got the load supported on both sides of this machine. Downriggers go down. He's going to swing his crane around. Super important that that hook on the end of that crane has a clasp on it. That way the bead hook can't get out of there. Made sure that he got the water out of the tires. You don't want plain water in there because that's going to cause rust. We're going to add the Fuller Brothers Tire Life. By the way, it's Craig from Fuller Brothers doing the filming today. Andy's out combining. Thank you, Andy, for letting us do this. Thank you for letting me participate. Great stuff. Did a good thing there. He's leaning the tire. You never want to turn your back on a standing tire. Known guys that have been hurt or actually killed from a tire that fell over. Go back and he's going to deflate the other tire, the back one. Loosens the core just a touch. Grabs the core with the core extraction tool. And we got air coming out. Well done. This is one of the Fuller Brothers products here. This is that White Lightning. The product is designed to penetrate while it's deflating, while it's deflated. And hopefully it'll help him with the tire change. Lubrication's a good thing. the bead seat band broke away. He's going to take the lock ring off. O-ring gets junked. We don't use those again. Now they get thrown away and a new one will get installed. See how that lock ring goes over itself? Looks in pretty good shape. That's really a snap ring. You think this thing is filming even if I can't see it? The red light's going, it's going, right? I think so. Using a 3-piece bead breaker. Push that tire off that wheelbase. Get the bead seat band out of the wheel. There it is. Stem out so that he can get the tire to slip over the wheelbase. There it goes. What Kyle's got to do here, the safety glasses on, got ear protection on, got to clean that wheel all up, got to get all the rust and debris, get it as clean as he possibly can. O-ring groove and the lock ring groove. It's critical that gets cleaned and inspected really well. And it's that lock ring and snap ring that hold the assembly together. And that's the pressure zone. I'm going to clean the VC band up as well. The VC band in the back of the wheel, or that back flanges, they're the same diameter, and that's where the tire beads are going to ride on. That part of the wheel is what supports the bead bundle. Yeah, we're doing good.
You missed your phone call?
Oh, so if this little red light's still flashing, it's still filming? Even if the screen goes dark?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. That's all we needed. Thank you. Thank you. He's going to check the last piece, and that's the lock ring, or the snap ring. Everything's nice and clean. All the rust and debris out. He's inspected it. Nice and clean. I replaced the valve stem. A brand new one. Put a little bit of the Fuller Brothers tire cream on the grommet for the O-ring. Gotta make sure that tire's all cleaned up real nice and pretty. That moisture came out of there. Put a light coat of the tire cream on the beads. Don't need a lot of this, guys. What that bead lube is doing is it's helping for those tire beads to seat up nice and tight and evenly all the way around that flange, bead flange. Now he's going to add about 3 gallons. We'll put 3 gallons each. Fuller Brothers Tire Life in there. So we talked about earlier. Gallons in a 20.5 25. got here is called a push bar. So this is going to allow him to get even pressure to push the bead seat band back in order to put the O-ring and the lock ring in. Grabs a bar to give himself a little leverage. That's what the actual little eye hooks are on there, so he can level it off. You can adjust it. Push bar's got notches. It's right in there with that bead seat band, both sides. Nice and clean. Kyle's got here, this is a remote air up device. So what we want to do is we want to stay out of the trajectory zone. So he put his crane in position to act as a barrier. Now he's going to hook up this air hose that gives him plenty of length to stay out of the trajectory zone. Trajectory zone is right in front of the tire on this side of the tire. If I can read the letters on the sidewall, I'm in the trajectory zone. He's going to hook up his device. It's for ejection and removal and installation tool. Hook up his airline and he'll be able to stay out of the trajectory zone. something were to catastrophically happen, it's gonna hit the boom and or me or Kyle. Came up nice and even all the way around. This is actually the safest place to stand. If I can stay right in front of the tread like this, stay out of that trajectory zone. Stay right out of the way with this thing. It has a device on it. This right here, if you pop that, that'll release it. It won't make the hose disconnect all the way, but it'll bleed the air out and relieve the pressure going into the tire. Double click and the hose disconnects. This way he's got complete control. You can see what his air pressure is. And with that core removal tool, installation tool, just has to screw the core back in, put a valve cap, and it's a wrap. What air pressure are you going to put in them, Kyle? 60? Yep. And the ambient temperature today is what, about 75-ish? Yeah. So according to Boyle's law, because that ambient temperature is between 55 and 75, 77 actually, we don't have to make any adjustments to the air pressure. If it had been any warmer or any colder than 55 or 77, we'd have to make adjustments. Either up, we'd have to increase the pressure to accommodate for that air pressure or the ambient temperature difference. Boyle's law states that for every 10 degrees Fahrenheit, it'll affect the air pressure by 2 psi. And the tire manufacturers set the air pressures for the load on their load carrying charts, inflation charts. The pressures that they use are the temperature that they use is 65 degrees Fahrenheit. There's one tire and wheel done, cleaned up. Fuller Brothers Tire Cream and Fuller Brothers Tire Life installed. Good job, Kyle.
Well, I am just getting done combining. I wanted to check on this payloader, and I kind of wanted to close out this video as well. I want to thank Craig and Kyle for videoing the last segment. I don't know how they did until I see the footage here tonight, so I'm sure you guys will drop a comment down below on how well they did with the camera videoing the process of these tires going on this loader. Now these are a Galaxy radial tire, and I know you're probably asking, gee Andy, what does this cost to use this product? We didn't really talk about price yet. For any of you that are interested in this product, I will leave Craig's website down in the link or down in the description of this video. There'll be the website for the company that Craig works for. For those of you that use McLaughlin's tire, you can ask Kyle about the product, and I'm sure he'll explain to you what we haven't already explained or what we have explained in this video here. I don't know if Craig or Kyle had talked about what you can do with this product after you have used it. In other words, when you want to go and switch out the tires. As long as the product has the color to it, you can reuse about half of it. In other words, take half of it out or just add half as much as what it regularly takes to do the job. We're starting to see more and more with these tubeless tires. With everything that we've got has got a considerable amount of age, and Kyle has to spend a lot of time with these rims that have the rust in them to mount and dismount a tire. Especially with these payloader tires, they're almost a two-piece rim, and you have to have a clean surface to get that piece to go back and forth on. So with that being said, that is going to do it for this video. Again, these tires on this machine, they are a Galaxy radial tire, and you've seen the tires that came off. We got our money's worth out of them. So this will run a long time, about 5,000 or 6,000 hours we get out of a set of payloader tires. So with that being said, that is going to do it, folks. I want to thank you for watching, and we will catch you at the next one.